Hello everyone. Today in business studies, I am going to discuss a very important topic, that is capital structure in financial management. Now, capital structure means the proportion of debt and equity in the capital of a company. Now, it's the proportion of debt and equity used for financing the operations of a business. That means how the business operations are financed. What are the sources of financing the business operations? As we know, there are two sources of finance, that is borrowed funds and owner's fund. Now, borrowed fund means the loan, the debt part, and owner's fund is the equity part. So, what will be the proportion of the capital structure of a company? How much the company is going to borrow from debt and how much the company is going to borrow from equity to finance its operation. So that is capital structure. It can be written as debt by equity. This is the formula that capital structure is equal to debt by equity. Now, it's very difficult to determine the capital structure of a company because it affects the profitability and financial risk of the company. When we decide on the capital structure, the main aim of the company should be to increase the shareholders' wealth. This is the main objective of financial management. We have seen it earlier also that the main objective of financial management is to maximize the shareholders' wealth. So, here also, whenever the company is deciding on the proportion of debt and equity, the main aim should be to increase the shareholders' wealth. Then, debt and equity differs in cost and risk. Why it is difficult to determine? Why it is very difficult to determine the capital structure? Because both debt and equity, they have different cost and risk. Like, the debt is the cheaper source of finance, but it is risky. Why it is risky? Because the company has to pay interest even in case of losses also. That is a legal obligation. Whenever the company is borrowing, the company is taking loan, irrespective of profit or loss, they have to pay the interest. That is a legal obligation. So it is highly risky. And in case the company is unable to repay the interest, repay the principal amount, then the financial institution or the lender, the investor, the lenders, they can claim on the assets of the company also, and even the company can go for liquidation because of that. So the debt is cheaper, but it is very risky. When we talk about equity is an expensive source of finance. It is expensive but less risky. So capital structure affects the profitability and financial risk of the company. So that is why it is very difficult, and it's not easy to determine the capital structure. But the company, they resort to financial leverage while deciding upon the capital structure. Now, we have to understand what is financial leverage or trading on equity. See, the company, they resort to or they use this financial leverage for determining the proportion of debt and equity in the capital. So, if the rate of, first is the financial leverage is the proportion of debt in overall capital. That means it's the proportion of debt. How much debt the company will take or how much should be the debt in overall capital. Overall capital means when we include the amount of funds which is required in a business. So in that particular fund, how much debt should be there? Okay, so that is the proportion of debt in overall capital. So financial leverage is equal to D by E, that is debt by equity. Now, see if the company is raising more of funds by taking loans, it creates an obligation on the company to pay for the interest. Okay, so but it is less risky. Now, it's more risky. Now, how to determine the capital structure? It depends. The company is using financial leverage, so I'll explain this with the help of an example. Now, one example is calculate earning per share in all the three. There are three situations given, and we have to calculate earning per share. In first situation, see the company's total capital is 50 lakhs. This we have to see. The company's total capital requirement is 50 lakhs. Now for this 50 lakh, in situation 1, the equity capital is 50 lakhs. That means, and the debt is nil. That means the company is issuing shares for meeting its fund requirement. So 50 lakhs means 5 lakh shares of rupees 10 each. And in this situation, the debt is nil. Now in situation 2, equity capital is 40 lakhs. The total requirement of fund is 50 lakhs. But the company is issuing shares, 4 lakh shares of rupees 10 each. That means 40 lakhs. And then the debt or loan they have taken for 10 lakh to meet this 50 lakh requirement. Now in third situation, the equity capital is 30 lakhs. That means 3 lakh shares of rupees 10 each. Here the company has to take 2 lakh rupees as loan. Okay. So three situations. First you have to understand that there is a capital requirement or total capital requirement in the business is 50 lakhs. In first situation, no loan, 50 lakh rupees shares. Second situation, 40 lakh shares, 10 lakh loan. Third situation, 30 lakh shares and 20 lakhs loan. So, in these three situations, we'll calculate the earning per share, and then we'll see that how earning per share or income of the owner of the shareholder increases. Now here in this question, the tax rate is 30%. We have to pay taxes also, and the interest rate, the rate of interest for this debt is 10%. Okay. Now, and EBIT is earning before interest and taxes 7 lakhs. Now we'll solve the question and we'll see how the earning per share increases. Okay. Now when we will solve that question, we'll solve it like this. Now EBIT, which is same in all the three situations, that is 7 lakhs. That means earning before interest and taxes 7 lakh rupees. Now first in the EBIT we have to deduct interest. Now interest is 10%. So in situation 1, interest will be nil because there is no debt the company has taken. In second situation, the company has taken 10 lakh rupees as loan. So 10% of 10 lakh comes to 1 lakh rupees. And in third situation, 20 lakh loan was there. So 10% of 20 lakh comes to 2 lakh rupees. Now this is earning before tax. Now 7 lakh, 6 lakh and 5 lakh. Now from this EBT we have to deduct now the tax. Now tax rate is given 30%. So 30% of 7 lakh, 30% of 6 lakh, 30% of 5 lakhs. It comes to 2 lakh 10, 180 and 150. Now this comes E. This is earning after tax. So earning after tax is 4 lakh 90,000, 4 lakh 20 and 4 lakh 30. Now after paying interest and tax, we have to calculate this is the amount for the shareholders. So how much the shareholder, each shareholder will get, we have to calculate earning per share. Now the formula for earning per share is EAT, that is earning after tax by number of shares. So when we will find out this 490 by number of shares, that was 5 lakh. So this comes to 0.98. Okay. In second case, 4 lakh 20,000 is your EAT and divided by the number of shares, that was 4 lakh. It comes to 1 rupees 5 paise. In the third situation, 3 lakh 50 is EAT and divided by the number of shares was 3 lakh there. So this comes to 1 rupee 16 paise. Now as we can see, the earning per share is increasing when the debt is included in total capital of the company. The earning per share or the wealth of the shareholders, the income of the shareholder is increasing. Why this is happening? Because the rate of interest is 10% and return, the ROI, that is return on investment, is more here. Now how this return on investment is calculated, I will show you. Return on investment is equal to the total investment into 100. This is EBIT by total investment into 100. So in this situation, the EBIT is 7 lakhs. Total investment in the business is 50 lakhs into 100. This comes to 14%. So that means why the earning per share is increasing, because the return on investment is 14% and the rate of interest is 10%. So if the company is taking loan from the market, the company has to pay 10% interest, and by investing that money in the business, the company is earning 14%. This is return on investment. The company is earning 14%. So when ROI is greater than the interest, in this case it is there, 14% is greater than 10%, then the company should opt for debt. So that is why in situation 1, the shareholders are getting 98 paise per share as dividend. But as the company is increasing the debt in the total capital, the earning per share is increasing. Why? Because the ROI is greater than the interest. So in this case, the company should go for debt. This is what is called a positive financial leverage, okay, or trading on equity.